Hello, my name is Maya, and I would like to tell you about my experience. When I was very little, I had a near-death experience. Um, First of all, I must tell you that even though it was a hard experience when you feel helpless and your body your body is struggling and you cannot do much, the thought um, that that I still have, or the feelings after the clinical death, were so beautiful. I have to share it with you, so that when maybe your loved one dies, you know that there is a better place where they're going. So the experience I had was when I was very little. I was actually a baby. I know it's hard to believe, but all my life I actually had this memory inside me. But I wasn't ready to tell anyone until I was 26 years old. I told my mother. When I was starting to think about my own children, I asked her, Mama, what happened to me when I was a little baby, still in the womb, and still when you were carrying me? Did this umbilical cord or something wrap around my throat or something? Because I remember well, I was inside your tummy. It was the light was sort of red, dark red, and then light red, and then I started to suffocate, and I couldn't breathe. And I remember when I struggled, when I was a little baby in a womb, and I started struggling. I couldn't breathe, and my head started to really become. I had a big headache, like somebody's gonna crush my head, which usually happens when babies are born. The pressure is on your head, but it wasn't just that. I didn't have any oxygen. I felt weak. So I remember then that I fainted inside the tummy of my mother. I fainted, and because I didn't have any air. And then I realized I opened my eyes in the hope that things are better so that I can breathe, and I realized that I cannot breathe, that still my head is very much hurting and I'm without air. So I remember I closed my eyes and I just something snapped. It was like on the top of my head, and then my soul went out of my body. And that, my dears, was a very beautiful experience, because I felt like I was big as 3 houses, and that my soul is so big, like I was spreading, and the feeling was so beautiful. It was like I was loved, I was at home, in the embrace of my loved ones, and the feeling was so beautiful. I still remember it till to today. So that's what I would like to share with you, that even though there's a struggle before you die and it's not all roses, when I died, it was a very beautiful experience. I felt like all the people, all the souls, all the things in the world are connected into one, because we are all one in God. And I was feeling so warm and so loved and so one with the world. Nobody is apart, nobody is alone. We are all connected in God. You must know that. So when I was feeling this love, this eternal love that is only given to us by God, I went up and up, 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 and there was a tunnel. Everybody says there's a tunnel, but I also had that experience of a tunnel, of a dark tunnel, And then at the end of the tunnel, there was bright white light. And you could see it, and you just want to go there, you just want to go to this light, because you feel like the light is where your home is. So you just want to go up, 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 up. But unfortunately, I didn't even come to this light. Something like grabbed me and sent me back to my body. And I was back inside my body, and that was not a nice experience. It was like you would take my big soul, and you wanna, I don't know, push it inside a little box of, let's say, matches, and it was painful. It was like when your heart stops, and then when your heart is again pushing the blood through the veins, with every little veins, it was like you're having this feeling like there was millions of little needles just stabbing me all over my body, my head, everywhere. So coming back was not a pleasant experience, and I just wished I was there, I was in the light, I was with Jesus, with God. So this was my experience, and when I wanted to have my baby, was starting to think about having a baby, I was asking my mother, and she said she was so terrified and so white, so pale when I asked her, because she never told anybody that my heart stopped during the birth, because she had very high pressure in pregnancy, and that's why I call that was a state that, because of the very high pregnancy, very high pulse in blood pressure in pregnancy, the umbilical cord was so squished together, and I couldn't get air or food or anything, and that's why I died. Actually, I was supposed to be born 1 month after, so I was actually born in 8th month of my mother's pregnancy, and she told me that that the day that I was born, they had to do an emergency birth, or there was an emergency. So and she saw that my heart stopped, and it was a straight line, but she said it wasn't a long time, and when they started this birth, they started this process, that quickly the pulse returned for me, and that's why she never even told anybody. Her husband was not present at the birth. She didn't even want to tell her mother or nobody, not even her best friend, because she didn't want to upset anybody. She just said, okay, it was a premature birth 1 month before, everything's fine now, and the baby is well, she's in an incubator, but it's all well. So this is the first part of my journey. Actually, my life began with clinical death. That's why all my life I've been interested in experiences of people that also crossed over and maybe came back and tell their story. So this is my story. Please hang around. I will also talk about my experience with Jesus, my experience with angels, and I also saw my father when he died. He came back and he told me a little bit about what it's really like on the other side, even though he didn't even believe in the afterlife. So, thank you for watching me. God bless you and have a good day.